Hello. How are you? I'm going to talk about awakening today. What is that? What do I mean by it? Where does it go? What are the symptoms of it? I have some new ways I want to look at new symptoms. And what does it have to do with your soul? What does it have to do with consciousness? What does it have to do with embodiment, etc.? So I just thought I'd go through that because it's a lot to go through, and while you're going through it, you know, everything's new, so you don't know what to expect and what does it mean? Is this anything? Is it not? So I thought I'd shed some light on that, and I guess where I want to start is, first of all, what do I think? What would I say from my own experience? So I'm just going to talk about my own experience, and I might throw in some clients or some friends here and there, but on the whole, what I've experienced. So I see awakening as now, and I couldn't see this as the beginning of awakening. I'm just going, what the hell's going on here? Or I didn't understand that it was called awakening, and I think that a lot of you, as you listen to this, might go, oh, yeah, I'm going through that. Oh, yeah, this. And so stick with me to the end and see if you relate. And also if you have any questions or share comments so that other people can see what you're going through and see if there's similarities there, and share some different things that are happening, similar or different. It's all good. We're here to support each other. And so let me start. So I see awakening as conscious evolution. So I awaken, or something has me seeing the world from a new perspective. That's what I would say awakening is. And so another way of like having an awareness that something's different with me, something's different in the world. I'm seeing it differently. I'm experiencing it differently. So I would say a lot of times what happens is that we start to feel things more than be thinking of how we usually would think about them before. So all of a sudden you're going, you'll start to see that you use the word feeling more in your vocabulary. Like, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling off, I'm feeling kind of lightheaded, I'm feeling something isn't right. I'm feeling this tense energy, or I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed. I'm experiencing, things that are different. I'm seeing the world. I'm experiencing my family differently. I'm experiencing my job differently. I'm experiencing myself differently. So, and I'm saying all of this because it can start anywhere, it can start with your family, it can start with your health, it can start with your job, it can start with you're walking in the woods on a vacation, and something in that woods all of a sudden feels familiar to you, and it starts bringing memories in, or you start feeling, like you're vibing from it. Or you might do an ayahuasca trip. Something you can notice also that you're um, experiencing things differently than most of the people around you. Like it could be start as, when you're younger with your family, like you just notice you are more sensitive than your family, other family members, or your friends at school. You're not seeing things. You can't kind of just, you know, sweep things away like others can. Like it sticks with you, and you have a strong sense of connection to, say, nature, or to humanity, or to the water. Some, might be specific to water, or um, indigenous people, or to a sacred place. And so all of those things have an influence on you. And what starts to happen, right, is that you will then most likely um, start to have curiosities about something, or synchronicities will start to show up because you're more aware. And so this awareness, this consciousness that you have, all of a sudden, you just, because you're noticing more, um, all of a sudden you start to see connections with things, or you start to see a hawk follows you. You see a certain hawk every single day, and then you're like, oh, I wonder what hawk means, and then you go look up hawk, and that, so you just start following this, and, oh, and what's that mean? And it just, what it does, the awakening, whatever it is, like starts opening doors or putting cracks in your in your personality, in how you see the world. Like if you were really like, the world is this way and you've been taught it's this way, it fits in this box, or it's black and white, there is no middle ground here. You either are, you aren't, it's right or it's wrong, whatever that is, right? It's just like you start to see like, that isn't true. And you're like, so I'm curious. You just, all of a sudden your interest comes alive in different ways, and you get curious, and you start following the threads of where this new opening, this new feeling that's coming into your body. You might be downloading information and you don't understand that you are. You just feel like a lot of information's coming in, or you feel really, I'm sorry, the sun is all of a sudden dropping a lot, and it's getting warm. And my dog is here asleep, and he has a hurt paw, so I don't really want to mess with him a lot. But anyway, you start following your interest or excitement of something, or of what you're learning. And this could be little steps, and you do it, and then you go on with life and you forget it, and all of a sudden something else, that hawk shows up looking in your bedroom window or something one morning, and all of a sudden it reminds you, oh yeah, okay, and it stirs something else in you. I'll say also, if you're downloading information, so say there's solar flares that come in, or solar wind, or you're picking, you just feel, exhausted, you feel tired, you're at a sacred place, or you're reading a book that's stimulating and bringing and awakening in you different memories or codes. You don't even have to know. You don't even know that it's necessarily doing that. It depends where you are, how much you're realizing what's happening. So in the very beginning, you're just knowing, you're feeling stuff, you're experiencing stuff. You don't have a name for it. You don't know what it is. In fact, you start thinking you might be going crazy, or what is this stuff, or you try to avoid it. You might even try to think something's wrong with you, and see if I can just scoot over here a teeny bit more. So that, you know, because you can be afraid of it. You know, it can be, you're going into the unknown, you're going into uncertainty. And that is, that can be scary until you get used to it. And depending on your experience with it before. So little by little, you start advancing, and you might be attracted. You go to the bookstore, you might get a book, some type of book on whatever, again, whatever you're interested in. And this is, you know, I want to make really what we're doing, each of us here, is like we're advancing. The ascension has to do with your soul waking up in this human body. And the soul comes into this human body to express itself. But a lot of us in this current arena, in this current world, have been programmed to not pay attention to our soul, to our consciousness. In fact, a lot of us, what have we been taught? We've been taught, think, don't feel. Your soul is feeling. Consciousness is feeling, is experiencing. Awakening is experiential. That's one thing I really want to get across. It's not something you're going to think about and create. You can't do it that way. The whole thing with your soul body connection, and the whole you know, a big experiment is, can we be these awakened souls in the human body on this planet Earth? Can we do it? And as as I'm doing, I'm living proof that this is happening, and there's a lot of others that are way ahead of me and others that are behind me, and those are you who I'm talking to, or maybe you're right with me. It doesn't matter. My whole point is that each soul is an individual. Is you are unique. This is how you are unique, and you're not to be a soul on this planet being like anybody else. That isn't what you signed up for. Your soul is your soul to, and you have a commitment to come in and experience different things, and you might have made the commitment to experience lack, so you could then shift that in your awakening to abundance. There might be things that you came in to teach, or you came in to, you wanted to learn what it was like to be in a lot of power, and you might be one of the people that are out here, you know, having power over people. To help create this experience that we're all going through, so that everybody can experience what they came here to experience. We're all creating through ourselves. But if we don't awaken, then and the awakening is to see, right, is to raise our consciousness to realize that we're living in this 3D world, this 3D world that is has people in it that have power over most of the people in the world, and have created this game. I'll just call it a game. I'm going to say life is a game, and it's created this game, and we're all coming in and coming onto this planet where this game's been going on a long time, and it's been keeping the majority of the population limited, repressed, not not free to really express who they want to be and express the soul. So this is part of our challenge is to, there's Bodhi, you can see everywhere, is to, for those of us who have been coming in at different times, that are coming in and waking up or coming in awake and saying, we're not playing that game anymore. We're not going to play this game where we're the servant and we can only have what you say we can have, etc. And I have other videos on that. And it's about, awakening is about freeing yourself and discovering who you are, who you really are, which is this soul that is a fractal of God, that is wanting to express certain things through it, and to raise, to develop, grow, consciously evolve, so that high frequency souls, so 4D, 5D, 6D souls and beyond, well, the 6D can live in the body, can be here in the body, that we can raise the vibration and raise Mother Earth, helps Mother Earth raise the vibration to live a high frequency, highly conscious life here that is sustainable and healthy and creative, highly creative, and use our multidimensional powers that I always talk about, to use those, and to be us, to play this game in a way that brings joy, that has peace, that knows that, brings us back to the truth that we are all one. We're one. If we're all a fractal of God, we're all that one God. This is and that is consciousness. Everything is consciousness. You are consciousness. All of this is consciousness. This is intelligence. This is, which is you also. So it's learning to tap in to different consciousness, different intelligences that are in this, and to be able to and tap into your soul, to listen, to go inward and listen, to be self-directed from your soul outward, not to be directed out here by other people who don't know what your soul came in for and don't care, and would prefer that you not be in your soul energy and just follow them and do what they say and want and make them money and let them feel powerful. Okay, so, all right, let me, so just take that in for a minute. Take that in. So where are we now, right? What is the thing that's happening before you awaken, or even during your awakening? What is happening? We're all, what is the game right now is not to have you be consciously in your body, connected to your soul and connected to everything, to feel that you are one. Because if we feel that we're one, we won't listen to the powers that be, that the few people that are in power today to be, we will create differently. So again, take that in. So one of the things, let me go through here, let me do this really, where's that? Just gonna go over this, and I'll go over this again too. So we awaken to our limitations. We realize there's something else, there's something more. We might not know exactly what it is, but we get little hints there and there, here and there, and we start to follow those. So I'm just gonna And then, and as we start to do that, as we start to read books or listen to people or get coaching or go out into the world and explore it ourselves, go take different trainings, then everything becomes a learning experience. So we're on this, so just think of awakening, evolution, we're learning, we're raising our consciousness, and how we're raising our consciousness is we're becoming much more aware of what's in us or what's interesting to us, and curious about it and exploring it. And so if we're in our relationships, we'll be learning from our relationships. In our work, we'll be learning from our work. In our travels, we'll be learning from our travels. In reading, accepting, everything. So even if we get triggered, or we make a mistake, or we have an accident or something, there's something for us to learn. There's something, it happened for us to take time to learn something about us. How are we reacting? How are we responding? Why are we responding that way? Why am I attracted to this? What is the feelings I'm feeling? What is it that I'm experienced? What happened to me as a young child that has me lashing out or running away or freezing or not trusting or not thinking good things about myself? What are the traumas I experienced? And not in ways, we are in new energy that's not in ways that you're going to spend years in therapy. Things can happen very quickly. In fact, you don't want to, it's more about feeling, really shifting our programming, that thinking is much more powerful than feeling. You will know so much more from feeling and from being in that energy and letting whatever you're experiencing to feel it, to experience that. What is it? Where is it at? Okay, just allow it to be. And you'll see your feelings when you can allow them. Might be a little scary here and there if it's around fear and stuff, but then as you start to feel it, you start to see, oh, I'm thinking I'm going to die if I feel this, and I can see I won't, or oh, it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I would start to be angry and then I was going to just never be able to turn the anger off, right? There's different things. So it's a constant learning, observing, learning, seeing where you're programmed, seeing where you get triggered, seeing what's feeling like what, and so just kind of follow your feelings. That's part of awakening. Follow your feelings. And then you become a better observer. And then as you're observing and you're seeing your limitations, and if you have somebody helping you, and you can do this on your own too, but a lot of times it's quicker if you have somebody like myself or other people or in your readings or guidance, whatever, however this happens, when they can help you see what you can't see yourself right now that is limiting you, or help you say, well, what if you looked over here? What's that? What if you had no beliefs that there was limitations on your potential? Where would that take you? What would that feel like? And then and what comes up when you think about that? And then you start to see that your fears that you've created, that are in you, that might be unconscious, all of a sudden come to the surface and like, no, or whatever they are, or the excitement, oh my God, I could do this. I didn't even realize that that's something I'm really passionate about, that I want to do. I'm sorry. Oh, that's Neil, man. So when you have these observations, and then now the next thing you can do is you start to make new choices. You can start to say, okay, I want to go here instead of my old way of staying stuck. I'm going to follow this. This feels good. I'm going to follow this for a while. And when you do that, then it creates a higher frequency, and that frequency starts to, you start to download and integrate what you've been learning. There takes an integration. That's why I say it's all experiential. And so when you observe, like, I'm feeling this stuff, and allow yourself to feel it, allow your heart to open or stretch, or allow the feelings to happen. As you do that, you're actually telling yourself you love yourself, you care about yourself, you matter, you're worthy. And when that's happening, so your focus now is more on you. It's actually what did I say? I said something back here. It was, you're in an immersion class of self, of yourself. You're in this immersion class to discover who yourself is. Who is myself? And which the self is the soul. But the self has personalities, human personalities, and labeling and programming around it. So if I call this like your mobile home. And so you have the soul in the body, and then you have your energy fields around your mind, physical, spiritual, etheric, etc. And you have labels and stuff that people have given you over a lifetime, or you've given yourself, that some of that programming stuff from school, how you see yourself, your ego, all of those things that are jockeying for position and working really hard to make you feel good about yourself. Your ego is trying to get so that we can relax, so we can feel safe. And most of us don't feel safe. Number one, because we're disconnected from our soul. Number two, because we're disconnected from this, because what we've done is we're like, oh, and this meaning source, God, the quantum field, consciousness, other people, nature. We've disconnected, we've come onto the phone, this is our friend, this has got everything, I don't need anything else, forgot how to have relationships, fearful of relationships, fearful of reaching out, fearful of discovering who you are, fearful of asking questions. It really is, we're in a turning point right now. And so there's a lot of, when you're awakening, and in this process, so again, there's all different places of being in this awakening. I'm trying to cover them, but I'm trying to also start like in the beginning, but you can be anywhere in that, and whatever is coming up that like, something's wrong, this isn't right, or I'm feeling this, there's like a breakthrough wanting to happen. So a breakdown is happening, just as what's happening within us, that our limitations, the programming we've been taught, our DNA is changing. There's more DNA coming online. There's more information that's coming into us that's waking us up that you have no control over. You have no control. It's all good, the information that's coming in, and the downloads and stuff. It's to remind you who you are. Different things, different experiences will wake those up in you, and then it's time to integrate those. So if you are tired, if you have had a download, or you're just feeling totally exhausted, just think, oh, I must have a there's something I have to integrate, unless you're ill, unless you're burnt out, that sort of thing. But you need to integrate too. Just realize, give yourself some nap time. Go to bed early. Take really good care of yourself. I'll talk about this stuff when I get to the nurturing thing. But as you start to do this, and you start to gather more information, and you're having these experiential events, and you're integrate, and the integrating takes time. So that's why, if you feel like you've been through something, take time to be on your own. Go into nature if you can, hug a tree, whatever, spend time, or just I love to sit on my chair here and look out at the scenery and just space out, and things come to me. Go on walks. Like, don't be distracted by social media. Don't be distracted by TV and news and friends. Sometimes you just have to say, I need some time, and really taking time. You know, if you've never taken a day off, take a day off. If you've taken a day, take a week. Do what you can do to have time to function at your own pace. Wake up and journal or meditate or do different things too. It's like to help bring in some of that new information. Okay. So when you make these new choices, you're also creating new frequencies. And so, and depending on your frequencies and where you are in this, you can raise to different, go from 3D to 4D, 4D to 5D, or 6D, different dimensions. And there's different experiences on those dimensions, and there's different consciousness in those dimensions. So if you just keep thinking, I'm just becoming more and more conscious about myself, my connection to everything, my soul's connection to everything, what my soul wants to experience here, how all this works, how I work, right? It's more and more I am, and as I do that, I'm going to have different experiences come in, and the higher you go, the more heart experiences you have, and even though the heart stuff sounds wonderful, some of it can be very trying too, because it's really you're going to go in, but it's good, it's all good. I'm saying things can be challenging because you're attached to labels, or attached to how you think you should be, or how the world should be, or how a family should be, or how a relationship should be, or how a career, or what money should be like. You know, you just find out that you're sorry, I'm gonna hold this a little bit. How attached you are to different things, and you get to again see your programming. So I'm gonna move this back a little bit and maybe lean. Okay, there we go. Okay, so, and then so after you make new choices and you reach a different frequency, you can create different things from there. You move in, so you're integrating. You take time to integrate, and you move into more of a harmonics or harmony with your heart, soul, and deeper divine work. More of your connections, and you become more emotionally intelligent. You become more available, and you see life as one. You see we're all connected, and so in your own healing, then all of a sudden your relationships with everybody else starts to shift, because you see yourself in others. You see the programming in them. You see that they have a soul, and you see that. Okay, there you go. Oh, good. Here we go. So you start to see all of that, and it feels really good. It feels really good. Okay. So I am going to, I went on a little bit long. Let me see. The immersion course in self, who are you without all the distractions, without all the programming? Who are you? If you didn't have all of that, and you're a fractal of God, and you're unconditional love, what would you be doing if there's unlimited potential that's available to you? Which it always is. So that's something to imagine. And when you start imagining, right, from this perspective, again, it's all of a sudden opening a door, shining the light into an area that's all of a sudden going to bring up your curiosity, light up your heart, light up your soul. It's like, okay, go, keep going. So I call this soul body alignment. You know, it's the becoming, you're becoming more conscious of your self, your soul, and embodying that. So living, I mean, when I say embodiment, it's like you're living your soul, your soul's highest essence, in this human body, and creating from it, and creating your service, creating relationships, creating abundance, creating whatever it is that you want to create, joy, happiness, pleasure. There's all sorts of things that you came here from, but we have been told by the powers that be that we can't experience those, or we can't experience those unless you're making a 7 figures, or you can't, you know, to disconnect from other people because they're not safe, etc. And community is a really big, important part of all of this, because you learn to see who you are in relationship to other people. They're reflecting back to you. So in your awakening right now, one of the most things that happened, one of the awarenesses that come up fairly quickly when you have a pretty good awakening, and you can have just subtle things like I talked about earlier, awakening, or you could have kundalini awakenings, whereas it's a energetic thing that goes through your body, that can be very explosive and mind-blowing, or it can be little. I have little ones here and there throughout my life that I just, you know, all of a sudden something's different. Like I had a kundalini awakening when all of a sudden I knew I had to leave my husband, and I could feel a switch go off in my head. I could hear it, feel it, and hear it, and it was like, you are going home and divorcing your husband. And I was like in the greatest like bliss, and it just felt so right and aligned. Now there's no way I could have gotten myself there by myself. So it's an energetic, that's what I mean, it's an experiential thing that happens, that in different ways for people. And you can follow it, and sometimes if you fight it, then it makes it really hard until eventually, you know, it might be 3 years down the road and then you do it, but you've had to go through a lot of heavy duty stuff because you didn't follow it. And then there's all sorts of things, all sorts of different things that happen, but just for you to know that, again, you need time to integrate. And I guess it's learning to trust too. So all this part is learning to trust who you are and have faith into who you are. Now, if that came when I was a lot younger, I don't know that I could have followed it, because I hadn't had all the growth that I have had prior to that. Now, I have to say, I love to grow and learn. I've been doing that my whole life. Like I'm fueled by that. And maybe it's because that's part of me as the teacher, but it's also, I keep growing. I don't, you know, a lot of people think they finish college and then they're like done growing, except where they might learn golf or tennis or something like that, or a card game. No, I'm always like, okay, what's the next multidimensional level I'm learning? What's the next consciousness I need to know? You know, I'm playing this game. I'm playing full out. So if any of you want to play full out, get in touch with me if you need a coach, and let's talk and see if it would be good for us to work together. Because it's fascinating, and it's scary, and it really does help to have somebody to talk to. And I'd always had guides with me. I always have teachers. I've had teachers, since I've always had teachers. Whether it's been from books, or it's live, or mentors, or source, or different councils from, you know, different information from the cosmos. I've always had guides, and I've had to learn how to use those and learn the tools and trust it. Trust myself too, to listen, to go in and listen. And this is happening also so much faster today than it was, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So much faster that things are shifting quickly. And so anyway, it truly, all of us that have been going through it a long time, like we all call each other, hey, are you experiencing this? The support is huge, and I'll tell you why in just a few minutes. Okay, so and part of this too, is we're learning how to be multidimensional. Why is this important? Number one, right now they're trying to push AI for everything, have AI do everything. I would highly recommend, if you're highly sensitive and you want to know who you are multidimensionally, do not use AI except, here and there. If you're going to, what AI is doing is what you do naturally. But again, the powers that be have told you you can't do it, or here, let us do it for you. Let us make decisions for you. Let us tell you what to think, how to be. Don't use your mind. If you don't use it, you lose it. Really get that. If you're not being creative on your own and coming up with your own ideas, you're going to lose it. Yeah, get a little bit of start and then stop. And then you use your creativity to take it that way. Like I use AI for creating some art sources. And I might put what's this look like? What's that look like? And then I go and I create on my own. I don't create what exactly AI gave me. I just want certain things and to see how that works. And then now I'm going to go in and do my own thing. They've shown that if you're not reading and you're having AI read to you, and if you're not writing your stuff, you're not using your mental abilities, and different parts of your brain are starting to shut down, are starting to shrink, and it'll be really hard to get that back. You don't want to lose that. So all of these things that they're saying AI can do for you, besides, customer service and, robotic things in different industries, etc., stuff like that. Don't give your power away to spirituality, them telling you things you need to experience it yourself. It's not a mental thing. It is not a mental thing. And so they might be convincing you, and you have to watch when your energies are all this way, when your energies are in this environment that we're in now. They can be corrupted. They can be influenced through EMFs, through different programs, 5G, etc., all these different things, TV shows, music, gaming, books, movies, etc. All of that, you get, depending on what you're doing, and if you're very scattered, it's a very hypnotic, and they're saying things over and over and over again. So watch, what are they repeating over? Like the pharmaceutical stuff, like they keep repeating same words. Like they'll take, and you'll see, like the news channels will all use the same phrases and words at the same time all around the world. And it's a very hypnotic. They know how to control your brain. So you need to be very sovereign, and you need to be very discerning, and go in and check with yourself. Is this right? What do I need to know? What is important for me? What do I choose? To have people to share and talk about that. Get together with groups and get off your phones. Get that stuff out of the way. Be in nature. Sit around and talk and say, what are you feeling? What are you experiencing? What's important? If we lose all the power and everything, what are we going to do? You got to prepare that if your phones go out and there's no power, you got to talk to, you got to feel free to, you got to have people to talk to, and that you're going to feel safe. What do you have to do to make yourself feel safe? Where's your community? Who's got your back besides you? And whose back do you have? You know, we can do this together. We can't do this alone. Although you have to learn, number one, to be yourself, but then in being yourself also, you realize your connection to everything else. So don't give your power away to anybody or anything. Really, that consciousness has you looking at the world from more up here and seeing different connections and what is happening, and then has you feeling more rather than thinking and spinning and being stuck in your ego or insecurities. You have been like, okay, what's going on? You have tools to be emotionally mature and figure things out, so you're making better choices for yourself. Okay, because my battery's running out. I gotta hurry here. Okay. So, and then with all of this, you get to start creating the future from a new perception of yourself, from a new perspective, from a higher frequency. So we can create that world that you would love to travel around and work from anywhere in the world, and feel safe, and that people are loving and caring and compassionate and grateful, and we're working together. Then we can do that. So how do you nurture your soul? How do you nurture this human soul in this human body? So spending time in nature, inwardly spending time in your heart, meditating, creating, feeling, and feeling, loving yourself. By spending time with yourself, you're telling yourself, I love you. And when you do that, all of a sudden you can just feel this feeling of safety that you've never had. Living clean, having joy, sun, being conscious, unconditional love for yourself, and connection to yourself and others. That's just a few things. I don't want to go because the time is running out. Okay, some of the symptoms are balancing the masculine and feminine. So if you're more masculine, you might be working more on your feminine coming into this until you get it into balance and you know how to use them. Or the opposite, if you're more in your feminine and you need some more masculine to get things done, that will be happening to you. Symptoms are, what's going on? Something's wrong. I feel something's different. Something's just not right in any area of your life. That's sort of how you kind of start. Or you're different. Like, what's different about me? You might wake up and go, why am I here? What am I doing? You feel tired, sleepy, or tired and wired. That's, again, you could be downloading, you're overworked, the system, it's telling your body is always communicating with you. Your body's always communicating with the world. So your body is feeding back to you information that you're getting. And if it's making you feel tired, listen to it and take care of it. Symptoms are, you might be avoidant, can't move in any direction. So sometimes when we're that in-between stage, like we've learned something, we're integrating, but something else hasn't come up yet. And this is when we would like distract ourselves or do something. It's just like we don't sit there and listen. We need to sit and listen. We need to sit and feel, and not just like, okay, what's next? What do you want me to know? What's the next step for me? What would really feed my soul? What am I really passionate about? And just space out and give yourself time to be bored and let it come to you. But yeah, sometimes you can't do things the same way. You can't work the same way. You can't be an entrepreneur and be push, advertise, pull, whatever those things are. Life is going to be very different. We're coming into a very different world, and it's not going to be all about the bottom line of money and making money from people and persuading people and all these different things. We're realizing that we all have something to add to this world, and that we're here to create together. You're becoming, you'll notice, because of becoming more observant, right? You're raising your consciousness, you're evolving your consciousness. So the more observant you begin, you start to see, oh, I'm triggered, and then you can observe it and then learn from it. And like, so where'd that trigger come from? What is it that I'm thinking and believing that's making me feel like I'm not loved, not good enough? You might feel the body has different aches and pains, the shifts all around, different things come up, because that might be, you might have a trauma stored there, that if you breathe into it, give it space, it might be painful, pain back, and wants you to slow down, so it's slowing you down. It wants you to check in. Your body wants you to keep communicating with it, to talk to it, to have a relationship, a deep relationship with it. And if you have that, I tell you, your world is going to blossom, and your abilities, your soul's ability to create, and your multi-dimensional self will blossom. When you're in it, if you open, right, you're feeling, you get into a flow, and you will have these periods of growth periods, then integrate, then flow, then learning, integration, flow, etc. You keep going through these. So you might have a need to become healthier. Each time there's going to be something. You might be called to eat something, start eating different things. I had that a few times. It keeps changing here and there and keeps fine-tuning. You might be inspired to change friends because your vibration and frequency is different now. Your heart's open, you're doing, and these people over here are oblivious to, like, have no idea what you're going through, and you need other people who are around and creating, and you might be inspired, all of a sudden drawn over there. So not that you're necessarily, you're just not going to hang with them all the time. So change friends, change partner, change diet, change location, change careers, leave the old and create the new. You'll notice that you have toxic levels of different things, whether it's toxic levels, people, toxic home, toxic car, toxins in your body, and so you need to detox. You need to, the mind, so it's like the mind, watching the mind. So a couple things here. You can be, like I said, you can be influenced with the mind. There's a couple times, like all of a sudden things would come in like that had to do with sex trafficking or sex, and I'd be like, what the hell am I doing? I can be very connected to the human consciousness, to the bigger field of fear, anxiety. I can feel that, as well as, like, different things that happen in different parts of the world. I just am sensitive to that. I can have, and depending on who's around or what I've been around or where, so I'll have different things flash in my mind. I've had suicidal things flash into my mind. So as you become more conscious, you become more easily influenced. So you have to take care of yourself, because you're more open. Your energy is more open, but you learn how, that's one of the things I teach, how to take care of this energy so that you're, you know how to clear and ground, and how to move things out, and how to protect your energy field, how to be healthy, so that, when you're in your power and you're not shrinking and trying to hide, when you're in your energy, you don't let anything in that you don't invite. So it's about your power. You are empowered. And so the mind is a big part of this. And again, it really does help to have people to talk to, because sometimes, it like you experiencing, if you have felt that you've been abandoned and betrayed, and all of a sudden that energy comes up, that you're feeling that, like you're wanting to make a change, and you're having new friends, and you're afraid of these, the whole abandonment thing comes up from when you were a little girl. You're not an adult or a young adult experiences. It's that little girl who feels unsafe and afraid, who hasn't been attended to, is freaking out, and you will freak out because she's the one that's leading the emotions. And so you learn how to take care of your inner child. You become emotionally mature. You become the parent to that child, and then you're not feeling so wobbly and so vulnerable to everything. And yes, you will feel vulnerable, and that's part of it, but you're going to be feeling a lot of vulnerability that also creates, beautiful experiences. Okay, almost done. Your psychic abilities are going to go way up. You're going to experience like the games of 3D, 4D, and 5D. So you're going to be like in 5D, and then you'll be like the 4D is like really when you start to get into your feelings, and 5D's a whole nother thing we'll go into later, and 6D. So, but you might like there's different things. You start to see the world. One world has something in it, and the other doesn't. So, I'll give you an example. Like you might have a certain place that you always go and put your keys down. You put your keys down there, and it's in 3D. And so you put your keys down and you go along your thing, and then all of a sudden you've had like so maybe you made love and a great dinner, and you're just feeling wonderful, and you're like in 4D or 5D, just blissed out, and you go to look for your keys and they're not there. They're not where you put them, and you put them there, and you go looking all around, and it's all of a sudden, like then you start getting worked up, and you're getting angry. You bring yourself back down to 3D, and you go back, and they're right where they are. So there's different things that happen all around that, the 3D, 5D, etc. Different things that you can do, different multidimensional adventures that you can have with all of that. So yeah, and so I talked about picking up the feelings, sounds of humanity. You also start dealing with all your mental identities, feminine, masculine, mom, dad, worker, victim, not enough, unlovable, loser, too much, all those things, all the different, whatever you associate with, whatever words, clumsy, beautiful, rich, etc. Whatever those things are for you, that's part of the work of awakening, is letting go of those. And then like, who are you without those labels? And it's really interesting. Working with your ego, getting rid of your programming, because your programming is going to start coming up, and with each new friend and people around, as you start working this, or with a coach and stuff like that, you will be reflected back to you through your relationship with them, how you're showing up, and is that fitting, is that you, is that not, where are you limiting yourself, where can you grow and expand. And also the symptoms, overwhelmed, overstimulated, addictions, old stuff doesn't feel good anymore, feeling you want to live in community, feel misunderstood, alone, awkward, unsafe, insecure, high and lows. And as you get, the more you get into it, the less the dips and the high. So it'll be more even, but highs and lows you can do. And synchronicities, seeing how synchronicities, remember I was talking about, like all of a sudden you wake up, there's something different, and then you notice something, and then you start following that, and then it takes you to something else, and then you say, oh God, I really love this, and like a cup of coffee, and next thing you know, your girlfriend's or boyfriend's bringing you a cup of coffee, and it just seems like life is just like on. You can also have depression, repression, I'm not okay, having to deal with the unknown, uncertainty, programmed to trust authority. You're seeing how you're programmed to trust rather than do your own work and research and feel into things. Should I do this? Should I not? I teach you actually a tool so that you can start to get yes and no's, and then how to have a relationship with your higher self and your inner self, so that they're giving you, because they're all the same, so and source. And so that you're getting your inner guidance and not trusting people out here who don't give a shit, and don't know anything about you really, that would serve you. So that's it. I did it. Yay! Look at that. 59 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay. Woo! All right, guys. So that was a lot, but it is a lot. You know, I'm trying to compress like 20 something years, 30, you know, I mean, it's been a lifetime, but a real focus of 20 something, 25 years of growth, and from the beginning not knowing what that is, what is happening, or even to put words to it. You know, so I'm here for you. You're not alone. And please find at least somebody that is one of your friends, or a parent, or somebody that you trust, that you can share things, and you can say, hey, let's take care of each other. If you don't get a coach or whoever, a mentor or whatever, that you have somebody that you can call when you need to check in. Like when I first was starting, I would feel these things, and so I think I knew two people that kind of knew what was going on in the world. I had no idea what the sun was doing. I had no idea about the cosmos. I had no idea about a lot of stuff. And so I would just call them and say, is something going on? And they'd go, oh yeah. And I'd be like, oh God, okay, good. I'd feel all right, you know? And so anyway, I still have one of my girlfriends who I was doing that with then. We still call each other, how are you doing? Are you okay? You know, or I'm just sleeping all the time. So having somebody in your life to help you with that. And I will even say, look, if you don't have anybody and you're really in a spot just questioning stuff, give me a call, okay? My information is on the YouTube site, and it's on my website, MarilynO'Malley.com. And that website is old, and I just have not had time because I'm integrating and downloading. I'm creating so much stuff right now that I haven't had time to make a new website yet. So yeah, just reach out to me, and please, like somebody, like you're not alone. I want you to know there's there's at least 1 billion people like you, if not quite a few billion, who are waking up, and some are waking up freely, and others are waking up like you know, not so freely. You know, and we don't want people to have to go through a lot. So anyway, I love you. I do because I love myself, and that can be you too. So you are lovable. You are powerful. You are a fractal of God. Just think, what is God? You're God energy, or source energy, whatever you want to call it, or the intelligence, the quantum field. And focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And follow that excitement, follow the openings, follow the essence, the pattern, and open this heart, whatever you've got to do. Open your heart little by little. And there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of information on my YouTube about grounding, or clearing energy, or working, you know, if you want to do stuff for free, right? Working with your inner child. There's all sorts of information out there. Just research that. And if you want to work with me, then reach out, call me, give me, and we can see if we're good to work together. But also, like I said, call me if you're in a hard place and you just need to check in and know if something's happening. I might also, I think I'm going to put in here, like, look up the Schumann resonance, and look up NASA. I'm going to put some links under this video of places that you can go see if things are happening too, energetically, because we are affected by the sun, we are affected by the cosmos, we are affected by electromagnetic fields, EMFs, we're affected by what humanity is going through and doing energetically. And so you start to realize that you are a part of that electromagnetic field and energetic field. And so how you use your energy will affect it in a positive or negative, or I would say it's going to affect it anyway. I don't even want to label good or bad, but it will create a reaction. And so what reaction or what influence do you want to have on the world? And that's what this is all about. Is like, how can I influence this to help create this new world that we're creating, in such a way that there's more love, that people get who they are, what their soul's about, and what they're here to do and create in the world. All right, I love you. Take care. Bye.